Hello, my name is Faten Hafiz. My research paper is about environmental activism and the power of ecological solidarity. In this paper, I'm making the argument that environmental activism often involves individuals and communities utilizing their physical presence as powerful tools for protest and resistance, thereby highlighting the interconnectedness of human bodies and the environment. This concept perceived the human body as a non-abstract entity, but a carbon-based vessel that embodies the very essence of human agency. I'm making the argument that the corporeality seen in bodily resistance is a visceral example of a unique human experience manifested through positive environmental protest. Throughout history, environmental activism encompasses a spectrum of actions ranging from peaceful protest, civil disobedience, creative performances, to naked body exposure. Typically, human solidarity and environmental activism manifest in two distinct forms: the ecological solidarity of the masses and the ecological solidarity of an individual. The ecological solidarity of the masses, we usually see their activities denote collective united efforts where many individuals join to champion a large body of protesters. Their strength lies in their sheer numbers, cooperative action, and mutual purpose. Their advocacy is bolstered by a robust sense of communal commitment. The ecological solidarity of an individual is where we see his and her activity, though denoting a solo effort, but it is reinforced by inherent power of personal agency, small-scale initiative, and personal autonomy. Their goals are often achieved with the same strength and level as those of the masses. In this slide, I am providing examples of ecological solidarity and the environmental activism of the masses and of an individual. So in an era of increased connectivity and global awareness, the ecological solidarity of the masses has transcended traditional boundaries, and activists from different regions have formed a collective body resistance that exemplifies a more inclusive and effective response. And here I'm referring to an anti-corporate globalization protest that took place in 1999, and it opposed a project guided by multinational corporations seeking to operate and influence markets beyond their national borders. So nearly 50,000 people took to the streets to protest corporate globalization, and that was in Seattle. It was a diverse coalition of environmental labor and economic justice activists that actually succeeded in disrupting the meeting and helping to prevent another round of trade liberalization talks. So despite the borders and the regional distances, the vast assembly of the 50,000 people was a powerful convergence of the masses who, through synchronized action and order, were succeeded in creating one of the largest solidaristic dissent. I'm here also referring to the naked body protest, which had a foothold in the environmental activism of the masses as well. It's an attention-grabbing tactic that's inherently benign, but fierce in challenging the conventional boundaries of public behavior. So in 2007, 600 people, men and women, stood naked on the Altek Glacier in the Swiss Alps of Switzerland. They were forming a protest called the Greenpeace protest. They exposed their bodies by way of shedding both their clothing and inhibition to symbolize the vulnerability on the mountains. They actually were protesting the global warming after, after noticing the constant melting of the ice and the dire consequences of, climate change. Examples of ecological solidarity and the environmental activism of an individual. I am here referring to Bruno Manser, who represented the solitary ecological solidarity that catalyzed global awareness and spurred collective action, despite being solitary. He dedicated his life to the preservation of rainforests in the Malaysian state of Sarawak. He worked diligently to raise awareness about the encroachment of the logging companies into the forest and its impact on the life of the indigenous people there. Tree sitting is a form of environmental activism that share with the rainforest dwelling common threads of ecological consciousness as well. It's a self-imposed intervention that entails activists to commit to staying in trees for extended periods of time, sometimes for weeks or months, performing extreme form of corporeal inhibition Julia Butterfly Hill is a solitary protester who inhabited a 1,000-year-old redwood tree named Luna for 2 years to save it from logging. Her extended stay caused changes to her physical being and proved that when the human body is enmeshed with nature, an ecological consciousness develops and nature seeps through our cells. The nude protest of an individual is also as striking as occupying nature protest. And it's also disconcerting. And in here, I'm referring to Donna Nieto, known as Litsa Grisa, a very famous poet and environmentalist, who demonstrated the power of nude protest when she positioned her body as a human obstructionist, blocking while bare-breasted the logging trucks that would cut the ancient redwood trees of Mendocino County in California. So in conclusion, I want to say that almost without exception, the ecological solidarity of the masses and the solidarity of an individual signify an enduring environmental resistance, one that highlights the profound interrelationship between the physical self and the broader ecological landscape. This amalgamation is symbolic of a powerful human agency where the physical presence and direct action challenge prevailing norms and systems. So indeed, ecological solidarity is a force initially affected by an inadequate discourse. So it reverts back to act in mass or solitary processes to revise this discourse. When this discourse is corrected, ecological solidarity doesn't just become a tool for resistance, but a conduit for understanding nature through solid environmental ethics. Again, thank you very much for giving me the opportunity to present my research paper. Thanks a lot.